Hey, everybody. So, we have Clemson on deck tomorrow, and I apologize for just not being able to get out a video about the Virginia game. CDO's been pretty busy lately, but pretty stoked about this win over Virginia. I'm just going to take a little bit of time here to talk about that and the upcoming game against Clemson we have tomorrow at noon on ABC, which is really cool. So, first of all, the ACC, when they were going to announce the times for this Clemson game and Georgia Tech game, they were waiting. There's a term, I forget what it's called, where they were like waiting to see how each team played this week to determine where they were going to what network or whatever it is that they were going to be playing on, and both teams won. Georgia Tech won convincingly over Virginia, and Clemson won against a pretty good Notre Dame team. So we got promoted to the ABC slot. And look, I'm stoked on the Virginia game. I mean, it was the first game all year where we came out and had a convincing win, and it was really what we should be doing all along. Defense did what they needed to. It was a bit really bad. I think a lot of that was on Virginia. They just don't have a very good offense at all. Their offense is really, really, really bad, and they threw some awful interceptions. And I thought that the defense did all right, took advantage. At least they didn't just completely fold, and we got a nice freaking convincing win. What we should have been over a team in Charlottesville where, we have not played very well in Charlottesville at all. And, of course, we broke the pattern, the win-loss pattern. Broke it with 2 wins in a row, which has got me stoked. I predict us to lose the past 2 weeks, and we turned around and won the past 2 weeks. So, very cool. Does this mean that Georgia Tech has turned the corner or something? I don't know. This team is still unpredictable. Hopefully, we play like this the rest of the year, and we finally kind of found our identity, and we're able to have good offensive performances the rest of the year. Because really, I mean, that's what it is. It's the offense that is going to have to carry the team, and Haynes King and everything. I mean, what you saw earlier in the year against like Bowling Green or whatever it is. Like, the defense is always that bad. It's going to be that bad. The offense is what needs to carry us because, I mean, it just is what it is. So when the offense doesn't have a good game, that means that we are, in store for a really rough day. The offense it has been inconsistent all year, which means that the team as a whole has been inconsistent. Now, been good for the past 2 weeks, so I'm hoping that can continue here against Clemson, but it is a tough defense against Clemson. It's not going to be an easy time at all. Their defense is one of the best in the country, and while they're not quite as elite as they usually are, they're still a good defense and one of the better ones that we faced. And our offensive line, shout out to those guys, man. They have been kicking ass, and they're going to have a tough time. This is one of their toughest challenges again against the Clemson defensive line. But I feel pretty confident in our ability. If we play like we're supposed to, if we play up to our potential like we're supposed to, I think we can put up 20, 30 points. The question is, can we, hold them under that? I'm not so sure. The Clemson offense is, well, last week they had a good game because they didn't turn the ball over more than Notre Dame. And obviously the Clemson offense is way worse than it usually is. And it's been a complete barn fire all year, really. I mean, they've got tons of turnover issues. Cade Klubnik is a terrible quarterback. They've got he just turns the ball over. Even their amazing new running back Phil Maffa that they've been playing lately, he's got a turnover issue. So, their offense is not they're going to have to count on their defense to carry this game. And if we have a bad game offensively, we will lose. We will lose 100%. It's just a question of what team shows up. And if you're asking me to predict the games, well, clearly I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to predicting Georgia Tech. I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. I'm constantly wrong about this team. Now, I did predict us to go 8-4, so that is still on the table, right? Although it is very possible for us to go, well, I guess if you look at the rest of the schedule, we will for sure have 5, 6, 7, or 8 wins at the end of the year. 5 would be if we lost out, which I think is unlikely as that we lose out as if we win out, if that makes sense. I think neither of those are very likely scenarios. I think 6 or 7 wins is probably where we will land. I don't see us losing out. I also don't see us winning out. And look, a lot of people are counting out that last game of the year against Georgia. I'm not freaking scared of Georgia, dude. They are not far away as people think they are, okay? So just letting you know that. But Clemson is definitely beatable. Definitely beatable. Things that worries me, though, like I said, is us having a bad day on offense. If we have a bad day on offense, you can just forget it. Our defense isn't going to win us a game and keep us in a game. It's just not going to happen. Shout out to the Jackets of getting this far in the season and having this record with as bad of a defense as we had, because it is truly dreadful. But it's just, if we have to count on our defense, then it's not going to happen. Another thing that worries me is playing at noon. We don't play well at noon at all. We haven't really all year. And we always play better at night, which, shout out to the Syracuse game, announced to be 8 o'clock. That's awesome. If I'm looking at one game that's a for sure win, it's Syracuse at home at 8 o'clock. We better win that freaking game. We better get up for that game. There will be no excuse to lose that game. But yeah, as for the Clemson game, yeah, playing at noon worries me. Although playing on the road, we play good on the road. We play good on the road for whatever reason. So maybe we got that going for us. Trying to predict this stuff is like, it's a complete shot in the dark. It's just not it's not an easy thing to do at all. This Jackets team has been completely just inconsistent and hard to figure out for the longest time. It really just comes down to what team shows up week to week. So if I had to guess, I mean, look, I'm trying to steal my expectations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get too over my head. I wasn't kidding when I said that the Bowling Green loss did permanent damage to me. Okay, now if we're all going into this game expecting us to turn a corner, just keep in mind that this team is capable of losing to Bowling Green and getting dominated by them. It makes it a little easier when you lose to a team like Clemson rather than a team like Bowling Green. So that it does make that easier, and so if we lose this game, no, it's not the end of the world. But obviously, I'm hoping for a win. We haven't beat these bastards in 8 freaking years. 8 years. We beat Georgia lately or sooner, more recently, than we have beaten Clemson. We haven't beaten them since 2014. So I'm dying for a win over these people. It's the perfect time because they are not as good as they have been, in the past 10 years. They are not. They are really, really not good this year. They're 5-4, same record as us. Somehow beat Notre Dame last week. I don't know. They put on a good freaking performance, so hopefully, we don't take them lightly. I mean, I don't think we would because it is Clemson. But, this is not the Clemson team that we're used to. I really, really would love, a win over Clemson. It has been long enough. It's time for the Jackets to go get a freaking win. If you're asking me to predict, geez, I don't know. I still haven't decided. I went into this video not even knowing whether I think we're gonna win or not. That's how this is working. Okay, so it is what it is. If I had to guess, you know what? For the first time in a couple weeks, they've been proving me wrong. I'll take my Jackets to win. I'll take my Jackets to win. Hopefully, the last 2 weeks haven't been fool's gold with, beating UNC, who we are their daddy, and a terrible, terrible Virginia team. Hopefully it's not fool's gold, and, the Jackets can come out here, put on a good effort. I think we're hot, and I'm going to predict us to win, baby. I'm going to predict us to win, which means we probably won't, because C-Dog is usually wrong. Hey, one thing I was right about, though, first of all, we've hit our Vegas record. We've hit our Vegas over, okay? Which I've seen people. Now, I made a bet about us making a bowl. So I said, forget the Vegas record. Obviously, we're going to hit that. We're going to hit that over. I think even the Vegas record was too low. I think that we should have it should have been 5.5 wins, but it was 4.5. So already hit the Vegas over. We're staring down the barrel of a bowl game. First one since 2018. I think we'll get it, whether it's this week against Clemson or against Syracuse or maybe against Georgia. I think we'll get to one way or another, and I'll win my bets. I have several bets out on Georgia Tech making a bowl. I should have just done the Vegas over. I don't know why I did that. It was easy money, but I've seen people. Not the people who didn't think we would make a bowl, I've seen people take the under on the Vegas under. So they thought we would win like 4 games, which is ridiculous. And those people look foolish now. And we screamed from the mountaintops, okay? We screamed from the mountaintops all offseason that this Georgia Tech team has the potential to be really good. Now, I went off the deep end a little bit. I picked us to go 8-4. I just asked, do you kind of see where I was coming from with that? Do you kind of see where I could, watching us play the past 2 weeks, do you kind of see where I knew this offense could be this good? What I didn't anticipate was the defense being that bad. But do you see where I'm coming from now? Okay? This team is capable of a lot if we can count on the defense. And the offense to have a good, even in the game where the offense didn't, or the defense didn't show up at all, like the North Carolina game, we're still able to get in a shootout and handle business there. So, anyway, Clemson tomorrow at noon. I'm going to be streaming. Okay, so if you want to watch the game stream, go to the Pigskin Peete channel. That's Peete. Pigskin Peete, that's my friend. He's a Clemson fan. We do a live show every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m., the ACC show, where we talk about ACC football. And if you follow that show, you know that I screamed at them all off season about Georgia Tech and how we're going to make a bowl and everything like that. So if you wanted to, of course, they're all about to have to pay me. They're all idiots. They didn't know what they were talking about. I did. And it might not be the way that I expected, but Georgia Tech seems to be turning around here late in the season. And let's go on the road and get a freaking win against Clemson. And if you want to watch us stream the game, I'm going to be on the Pigskin Peete channel. I'll link it in the description. Rec Talk is going to be at the game, so it'll be the only. If you want to watch a Georgia Tech fan stream it, it's going to be me on the Pigskin Peete channel. I'll link it down in the description below. Hope y'all show up to watch us beat this freaking Pussycats for the first time in 8 years, and I'm excited for it. Tech football, I think, is hot right now, baby. We're gonna come home and get the win in Death Valley. We ain't scared of that. We ain't scared of freaking Death Valley. Okay, Clemson's been giving up all these streaks that they had in the ACC. All these teams that they have been dominating, these teams are finally starting to bite back. So I really hope that the Jackets can break the streak before we don't, of course, because of the ACC and all its wisdom has taken away our rivalry. Well, Georgia Tech didn't want it either. So, of course, we're not going to be playing Clemson anymore this year. So this is our last chance to break the streak while they're down And while we are up, this is our last chance to break the streak. So, hey, go Jackets. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Pigskin Peete channel for the game stream. Yeah, come on, and I'll see you guys later.